Hello, my name is Olivier, and welcome to my channel, where I talk about concept art, creativity, and techniques. In today's video, I will go over the creative process from my previous video, hard surface concept art techniques. I added the link in the description for you to check out. Please, click the like button and subscribe if you like my video. Creativity, or being creative, is a vast subject, and this video covers only a tiny fraction of creative work. I plan on making other videos about this subject, exploring different ways to develop ideas, an essential skill for concept artists and designers. Producing creative work includes several levels of being original or new, from mildly fresh to avant-garde. It is good to know that methods or techniques to develop new ideas help and are tools, but there's no wrong or right way to do it. It is crucial as we don't want to hinder the flow of ideas. Let me describe how I like to think about creativity. Creative ideas are like treasure hunting. You look for clues until you notice something small of an idea, and then decide to investigate or explore. You keep investigating and discover more clues until you find the treasure chest. The subject I picked was mechas and robots. I wanted to make a hard surface and mechanical object, something with a certain complexity but not necessarily realistic. It is all I had in mind at this stage. It is very rough and not really clear, but the vision and the idea will get more apparent as we move forward. At this point, I don't know what I want the object to look like, and not even what it will be. I now have a starting point. It is the design I will be chasing, and those are the references I gathered. When sketching ideas, I want this process to feel like second nature. Therefore, I purposely eliminate the perspective. It is similar to having a camera with a 200mm lens. It will flatten whatever you're looking at. To illustrate the example, let me show you what it looks like in Blender. I have a simple cube loaded in my scene with a basic camera. My lens is now set to 35mm, close to our eye perception. Setting the lens to 200mm will flatten the perspective and almost eliminate it. This is one of the ways to do it, and the other is to exit the camera view to the viewport. Hit 1 on your keyboard and rotate the object to 45 degrees on the Z-axis. The perspective is completely ignored, and this is how I like to sketch my design. I like to work like that because it forces me to not think technically about how to put my thoughts on the canvas. What I need to be able to do here is to think of many ideas and just to put them down as quickly as possible, just like taking notes or writing. Then, in a few seconds or minutes, I can judge if the idea I had was good or not. Since I'm doing a relatively simple geometric object, it is easier to make it look symmetrical, but it requires more brain work when the design have more curves. But once you get the gist of it, it becomes liberating just to jot down whatever you're thinking without worrying about the correctness of the perspective. This is the first batch of drawings I produced for the mechanical part. I had no idea what I wanted to create. I have references and a blank canvas. So I start by looking at what I have and what my mind wants to do. In the beginning, I need to warm up, and usually the first designs are pretty bad in terms of not fitting the theme or just not working visually. I sometimes hit the jackpot in the first explorations, but that is relatively rare unless there is something specific I want to make and stick close to the reference. I need all the poor designs to come out of my head at this stage. My brain tricks me to thinking I'm being original by regurgitating what I have seen in the past. The brain is fantastic at synthesizing what we see. Make sure you feed it with a lot of great art. After a bit, it's time to take a break so we can come back with a fresh eye. Usually at this point, I have taken a bunch of the bad ideas out of my head. For example, I liked none of the initial sketches I did for this project, even though I used a tiny portion of these things I did for the other drawings after that. But from here, I was able to make different choices and decide on another direction. I eventually found a shape or line that I liked by trial and error. This stage is where it happened. I found a design language I was pleased with, but the effort does not stop here. I focused on this design language, but kept exploring that direction. So we can say that I funneled the flow of ideas into one channel and focused on making more. I kept iterating by changing certain elements, shapes, sizes, and placement, and combining pieces. When I have many objects, I like to use them like a kit bash set. and mix and match, build on some existing ones, or make more complex combinations. With that in mind, I can continue building upon what I've previously explored, but this time with a new set of references. My goal is to keep pushing the exploration further to continue discovering new shapes. I'm implementing previous ideas into new concepts. The language is relatively the same, but the design is now evolving. For example, the thin frame that holds the cylinder together looks very similar to the other one I made in the second exploration phase. At this point, my design has matured enough for me to make commitments in my decisions. I have explored enough and like the overall look of those shapes. Because of that, I make quicker decisions and I am committed to drawing the final look straight away. Here are some thoughts about the process. The exploration phase can vary, and sometimes you need many more exploration phases until you find a perfect look. Even after finding your design, you can keep developing further with or without deviating too much from it. That being said, at some point it is crucial to make a final decision. It is easy to keep iterating forever. I don't like exploring for too long. I want to produce work, but I also don't want to settle for something I don't like. Knowing your limits is good, so you know when it's time to stop. Creating can go on forever. Thank you for watching. I plan on doing more about the creative process, especially on the abstract side of things, where I do some exercise on letting the brain just do its thing, or fighting concepts by not controlling reactions on the canvas, so stay tuned.